Hey everyone, Phil here with Foundation Wealth Planning. We're a financial planning and investment management firm designed to help Catholics align their finances with their values. And what I want to talk and rant about today is car payments. Again, often, a common question in the personal finance world is, should you buy or lease a car? And I really don't think that's actually a great question. I think we should look at it from a different angle. Do we even need a car payment at all? And if we do, what are some ways we can mitigate that? I was talking to someone recently, and this really was kind of the motivation to make this video. This person has a car that they want to get rid of because they have realized it is really holding them back financially. So this person has a car payment that is over $600 a month. $600. Now, that might not come as a shock to you because you might have a similar car payment. But it was shocking to me, partially because I ran some numbers as to what that looks like for future you if you didn't put that in a car payment and you invested it. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that today. And this person was really actually wanting to get out of the car. They have realized this, that they can't invest as much as they want to because they're weighted down by this car. And they're upside down, right? They owe $4,000 more on the vehicle than the vehicle is worth. So we talked about some strategies on ways to get out of that. And this video is not really going to focus on that piece necessarily. What I want to focus on is the car payment itself, and is that really needed, and what is that costing you in the future? And I actually found a Business Insider article that was written this summer, so it was written in July, and they had said that the average car payment is actually $712 per month. So this person I was speaking to is actually on the low end. That means that somebody listening to this video is probably above the average, $800-900 a month. No wonder you might feel like you're not making any progress. I mean, if we took a look at what that might mean from just a percentage of your income, I mean, that is absurd, right? So say $712 a month, let's take the average. That is $8,544 per year that you're putting into a car payment. If you make over the average annual income of 60 to 65,000. I've seen numerous kind of stats out there. It's somewhere in that ballpark currently in the U.S. is the average income. So if you make over that and you make $100,000, which would be well above average, you'd be doing pretty well. And say after withholdings, you take home $80,000 a year, and you have this average car payment. That is 10% of your take-home pay, right? $8,500 a year for the car payment. $712 a month equals $8,500 a year. That's over 10% of your $80,000 take-home pay. How do you have any money to invest, or more importantly, to give, right? How do we support the church and other ministries that are doing valuable work if you're putting all that money into your car? So I think it's something worth considering, right? A lot of people say, well, you got to have a car payment because you got to have a car. Well, you got to have a car in most cases. Yes, you do. So if you have to have a car, how do we find the most reliable car and the safest car for the lowest price? Right? Having a nice car isn't bad in and of itself, but I think if you have a disordered attachment to that, where you think that it's getting you some sort of status symbol, where you have to have a backup camera or a sunroof or nice leather seats or heat seaters, or even the new cars have seats that'll cool. Well, those are pretty nice, but do you need that? Can you afford that? A lot of people really can't afford it and shouldn't try to afford it. And it's really a big weight on you. So I think this is something that we really need to think about, right? What are our priorities? We could be investing this money for our families, saving it for our families. We could be giving it to the church, but yet we're spending on this new car. whether it's a lease payment or you're trying to buy a new car outright or a like new car, when we really can't afford it. And a lot of people can't really afford it, but they're sold that they have to have it. So there's a lot of different ways around it. A 10-year-old car in 2022 was made in 2012. I mean, those are pretty rigorous safety standards they had to pass. Pretty much all cars that are, from that era, if you take care of them, are going to run well past 100,000. Some will run up to 200,000 miles. And so I think we're just sold that we have to have this really nice car for whatever reason. And I don't think that that's really true. So do you need to buy or lease? I think that's a silly question. You probably shouldn't lease unless you're in a very niche circumstance. And if we need to buy, we should look at buying something that makes sense for your current situation and your current state in life. So if you took that $712, right, so it's already 10% of your take-home pay, right? So what if you invested that 10% of your take-home pay? Have you ever thought about that? You ever thought about what that would look like? I mean, it's a lot of money, right? Over 30 years, assuming you had a car payment for 30 years, which some people do. Some people just have a perpetual car payment. $8,500 a year for 30 years. And if you had a 7% annual rate of return or growth rate on that, that's going to be over $800,000 that you'd have if you'd invested that instead of spending on a car. That's a 7%. Now, if the market does really well and you get a hypothetical 9% rate of return, well, that's actually over $1.1 million if you invested that $8,500 per year. Is that new car worth it? Probably not. That could be for your family. That could be for the church. It could be for a lot of great things. So this is a common thing. A lot of people have car payments. Not ragging on you if you got one, but I think we need to reset our priorities, right? What are we prioritizing with this car payment when we could be doing something else with the car payment? So anyway, let me know if this helps. This kind of converges a lot of topics that I really could dive deeper into about, like, what is debt and should we have it? What is compound interest? I just did a very basic financial calculation there about investing at growth rates that may not make a lot of sense to you guys. So maybe I should do another compound interest video. That probably would be a great one. But I really wanted to just focus on, thinking about why do we have car payments? Why do we even talk about buying versus leasing when really we should make a prudent car decision and really set ourselves up for financial success. So if you're really not making any progress, that car payment might be the thing that's holding you back. So anyway, hope this helps. At least just some food for thought. And let me know if you have other questions or you want a deeper dive into some of these other topics or some of these kind of peripheral topics to this. And hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, share, follow. Love to keep helping out. Have a great day. God bless.